Goat chaos unleashed, goat emoji. So, my cousin Tim and I decided to take our kids to the local petting zoo last Saturday. It was one of those perfect autumn days, with crisp air and leaves crunching underfoot. We were all set for a day of common education, hoping the kids would learn something about animals other than their usual knowledge of cartoon characters. Things were going smoothly until we noticed a peculiar sign at the entrance: "Today only, special feed mix for our goats." Tim, always the curious one, raised an eyebrow but shrugged it off. I mean, how wrong could a little change in goat chow go, right? As we wandered through the zoo, the kids were having a blast feeding the chickens and trying to pet the rabbits, who were having none of it. Eventually, we made our way to the goat pen. The kids eagerly grabbed handfuls of the special feed and tossed them to the goats. That's when things started to get interesting. The goats, who were usually pretty chill, suddenly seemed to perk up like they had just downed a triple espresso. They started bouncing around the pen, their little goat hooves clattering against the wooden floor in a frenzy. Tim and I exchanged glances, half amused, half concerned. Within minutes, the goats were practically vibrating with energy, and then, without warning, they made their great escape. It was like watching an action movie in slow motion as the goats leapt over the fence, their eyes wide and wild. The kids squealed in delight, thinking this was part of the show, while the other parents scrambled to grab their kids and their dignity. Tim and I found ourselves in the middle of a live-action version of tag, with goats as the unlikely stars. I swear, one of them even winked at me as it dashed past. When the chaos finally subsided, and the zoo staff managed to corral the goats back into their pen, Tim and I sat on a nearby bench, trying to catch our breath. "Well," Tim said, shaking his head, "I guess that's what happens when you go too far with the sugar." We both burst into laughter, the absurdity of the situation finally catching up with us. The kids, meanwhile, were already asking when we could come back. Apparently, a sugar-high goat stampede is the kind of excitement that makes for the best day ever in their book.